Hi. It's been a while since I've done one of these me and the road videos. People seem to enjoy them. So I was thinking about something that happened to me in my youth, and I thought I'd run this story by you, see if you find it interesting. When I was a kid, learning out, starting to play music, play guitar, a little bit of drums and bass, I started learning Beatle tunes and Crosby, Stills and Nash and Birds, Buffalo Springfield, uh, and Quicksilver Messenger Service, and even the Monkees. I loved the Monkees when I was a kid, and that's where the story's going to circle around, but I'll be there in a sec. But I belonged to a church group in San Rafael, California, which is where I lived at the time, a little suburb or area of San Rafael called uh, Santa Venetia. And I belonged to a folk guitar mass group. And we used to play at a church called Blessed Sacrament. And we would play on Sundays. We had a really cool priest there. His name was Father Doyle. And he really encouraged us kids to, be socially conscious and compassionate about everything around. So we used to play folk songs, contemporary folk songs, even some of our own songs, but mainly contemporary folk songs. Like we actually played Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young after the Kent State event. Oh, terrible tragedy there. A little controversial, but a lot of people used to come and see us. And we also used to play like benefits in the church rectory there, and we'd raise money for the church. And me and my friends would throw little mini folk rock concerts and play our songs. And like I said, songs by the Byrds, Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Beatles, all of it. And somehow we got a connection to where David Crosby lived, which was at the time in Sausalito in the harbor there down on whatever the main drag there is in Sausalito. I'm blanking on it right now. But somehow we figured out where he lived, and we went down and looked for his boat, which was the time was the Mayan. And we found the boat. And here were these 15-year-old kids walking up to his boat, and I'll never forget it. He walked out, peeped his head out of the boat, and looked at us with his flaming red hair. What a beautiful man he was. Especially then, he was just so iconic, and it was like a god to me. And we asked him if he would do this benefit. And, he was pretty gracious, and he was honest, though. He said, look, I'm really picky about what kind of concerts I do, because usually the PA systems are terrible and technically they're not up to par. And he was right. We didn't have a good PA. We were Spanky and our gang throwing a concert in our backyard, basically. But he was really nice about it. But he goes, I have a friend that might be into it. And it turned out it was Peter Tork, the bass player and, one of the Monkees. And this was post Monkees stardom era, and they had already gone away. They had already broken up. This was, I would say, 1971, somewhere around there, maybe 1970 even. And that sounds more right, 1970. Anyway, he gave me his phone number. So I was still living with my parents in San Venetia, and I went home. And I dialed the number on an old rotary phone, and he answered. And he was super nice, super sweet. And we told him what we were doing, and he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And he agreed to do this concert, and he came down, I'll never forget it, came down early in the afternoon. By this time, Peter Tork had really long hair and a big beard. I'll post a picture. I think I've got a picture. I'll post it in this video. He was kind of in the hippie stage of post Monkees. But man, he brought a couple acoustic guitars and a banjo, and he played that night. Our band played, and he was, of course, top bill. He came in and did a killer set. I don't really remember what he played, but there were original songs and some classic folk songs. I think he might even done a Monkees song or two. And then after the concert, he stayed and helped us clean up. it was just an amazing experience. I never saw him again after that. And of course, he's passed away in the last few years. But what an amazing experience. Peter Tork played at our church concert. And that's about it on that story. But I thought it was cool. It was a great memory for me. Not only did I meet David Crosby at that point, and I was fortunate to meet him a few more times in his life, and when I was playing for Michael, and met Peter Tork. Just an amazing experience. Anyway, that's me in the road for you. I hope to do more of these because I've kind of neglected to do them for a while. But I appreciate you listening. Hope you enjoy this. Peace and love, everybody.